No one denies that peeking is bad, but what can you do if nowadays everyone carries a camera with them, and besides, they are literally at every corner. But some people forget about it anyway, and people running down the street in a towel and other ridiculous situations in our selection for you today. However, they can also be a great asset for capturing weird and unusual happenings. We are looking at the weird things caught on security and CCTV cameras. Before we continue, don't forget to hit that like button, also subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications. Let's begin. A dog owner was forced to act quickly when their pet Pooch suddenly decided to dive out of their boat into a river. This lady slips and falls on the way to her front door. She falls on the window and it's heard breaking, but she laughs it off. A football match taking place in Staffordshire was interrupted by the controlled demolition of 4 chimneys at a power station in the town. A flock of sheep on the train tracks block a train from passing in Romania. The driver noticed the animals in the distance and slowed to a crawl before reaching them. He repeatedly beeped his horn as the train moved at under 10 miles per hour, hurrying the sheep along. But it took more than 5 minutes before they eventually shuffled off the tracks onto fields. This surveillance video captured an SUV crashing through a southwest Miami-Dade home's pool deck after the driver suffered a medical emergency while behind the wheel. An Amazon driver delivering a package intentionally hands the dog the package instead of placing it in the separate safe area that is usually used, and is away from the dogs. The dog then tore the package and this happened. This guy was reversing his newly purchased lawnmower off the truck bed. He tried to get down using ramps. However, he slipped and this happened to him. A ferret walks on a path with his young, and finds in front of him a man who is filming it. The courageous mom will protect her little ones from the intruding bipod. A lady surrounded by hundreds of pigeons as it emerges from a supermarket during the traffic restriction. In the absence of people in the street, hungry pigeons constantly looking for food. A pair of hikers met with a bear on a trail on Mount Dumpling in Katmai National Park, Alaska. Seeing wild animal, both people did at the edge, and the bear continued its way, passing just a few meters from beside them. This lady is going out of her home and try to cross this fence, and see what happens next. This lady is going out of her home and try to cross this fence, and see what happens next. Suddenly, a car smooth moved towards the garage, and what happened next? This dad and his son were playing football out in the street. The kid was juggling the football on his feet. He then decided to kick the ball towards his dad, and this happened to him. This dog had his first lake experience, and he ran up to the dock laid out over the lake to check it. Unaware of the consequences, he stepped his legs in the water, thinking it would be solid like the wooden dock, and fell. He had never been swimming before but was able to paddle his legs and get back on the dock. This CCTV footage appears to be from a market. A woman and a man were looking at produce, when a stranger stumbles into the frame, reaches out his arm, and does something pretty terrible. The two people are obviously furious with his actions, and attempt to take justice into their own hands. A cheeky crocodile has been caught on video stealing a woman's crab pot on a river in the Northern Territory. The footage shows a group of friends fishing in the woods inlet before the reptile comes along and drags away the crab pot.
You got the pot right there, get it in. Is it cooking it? Oh!
The shop assistant learns ways to a little girl, throwing money at him asking for a cookie.
A cookie? Oh my god, alright. Damn, she's throwing change at me. Alright, which one do you want, the red velvet? Okay, here you go.
At the Denver Zoo in the United States, a male gorilla approaches a dome from where tourists are watching him, and hits the glass hard. A man has his Bible stolen by a dog barking through a gate on a street in Brazil. Amazing. Man saves dog who crossed the road from flood. Bonnie, the goat, was sniffing the new doorbell camera. When she tried to eat it, it rang. When her owner saw her, they spoke to her through the doorbell camera, asking her to get away from it. However, the goat got scared and ran away, staring at it from a distance. A paramotor pilot avoided a mid-air dodging an oncoming propeller plane in UK. The footage from the paramotor shows the plane come into shot and gradually fly towards the powered paraglider. The paramotor pilot has to jolt his vehicle upwards to avoid all possibility of a blow. This guy saving a toddler like a boss. Amazing. The woman was at home when she heard her dogs barking in the garden. At first he thought they saw a squirrel, but when he went out into the garden, he saw a bear lying on its fence. Her first reaction was to run to the bear and push it against the wall to protect her dogs. A man used masks to cover his whole face on a train in southern China. The bizarre video, filmed in the city of Guangzhou, shows a man wearing two face masks to cover his whole face with only two holes in one of the masks for his eyes. In this CCTV footage, when a guy tries to drive a car and crashed it through a wall in a Moscow dealership. This lady distracted with her phone walks in to pull. This is the moment a pair of inquisitive toucans were captured standing in front of a traffic camera before they starting trying to eat the device in Brazil. Thank you for watching my video until the last second. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on your notification bell to watch many more interesting videos. Now goodbye.